from the Canadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments. GUT Credit Union.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Good evening and welcome to the GBN television news from Monday, February 28th, 2022. Hope you had a pleasant weekend. Coming up tonight in the news, foreign national says burning yacht could have been saved, but the Coast Guard was ill-equipped to handle the blaze. Re-elected political leader of the New National Party, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, says the party will not be taking their achievements for granted as election fever heats up. Successful staging of kayak mass as crowds of people fill the streets of Hillsborough. And for what's to come in sports and our probe around the globe, let's go over to Zia Frederick.
Thank you, Blossom, and good evening, viewers and listeners. Coming up in regional news, hope shattered for families as missing divers in Trinidad are declared dead. And internationally, Russia and Ukraine hold ceasefire talks. And coming up in sports, the Peter David Magrido Netball Tournament shoots off this Friday. And West Indies woman captain says consistency is key for upcoming World Cup success. Join me, Zia Frederick, for the details to these and other developments a little later on in the newscast. Now back to you, Blossom.
Thank you, Zia. Stay with us. This is Primetime Edition of News.
The first segment of the news comes to you compliments. Soft Weave Bathroom Tissue.
Have you heard about the new Soft Weave bathroom tissue with total hygiene? As hygiene and safety have taken center stage, our bathroom tissue is now manufactured with 3 different technologies to offer the best protection for you and your family. UVC light technology for a safe and effective disinfection process, eliminating 99.9% of microorganisms. Also, production at high temperatures, killing all types of germs and bacteria. And it's pH controlled with delicate fibers to prevent irritation for even sensitive skin. Soft Weave Total Hygiene Bathroom Tissue. Available in supermarkets and shops island-wide. Visit Soft Weave Caribbean Facebook or Instagram pages for more information.
Thanks for joining us. I am Blossom Alexis Welsh with the details. Top story tonight. A fiery situation in the south of the island over the weekend ended with one man losing most of his most cherished belongings. But he is of the belief that the situation may not have ended so tragically if emergency responders were better equipped. Chrislina John has tonight's top story.
Fred Von Volt believes his burning yacht could have been saved from being completely destroyed had the Grenada Coast Guard, who responded to the emergency, been more equipped to handle the situation. His entire vessel was burnt in an unfortunate incident that occurred about 1 mile outside the Maurice Bishop International Airport on Saturday.
Drifting further and further from the island. I didn't know it was such a strong current right there. And but we managed to be fine in the dinghy, and sure enough, the couple came in 10 minutes, and we got on board their boat. And I would say about 5 minutes later, the Coast Guard came racing in, and we got on their boat. And but interesting thing, they have no firefighting equipment. So other than getting us, nothing really could be done. So we just sort of sat there watching the boat burn.
GBN's news desk contacted ASP Watson Edwards, commanding officer at the Grenada Coast Guard, who told GBN they encountered a challenge with getting the blaze under control, as they do not have a water pump. This, he says, is something they will be seeking to acquire in the not-too-distant future.
We, as a Coast Guard, we don't have a fire pump. We don't have a fire pump on the Coast Guard. So really and truly, and the smoke was already there. We don't have the mask, the respirator mask to do this firefighting in regard to smoke inhalation, right? So that, in a sense, that it was difficult because in a sense that we were not we don't have a fire pump on the vessel.
In an exclusive interview with Fred, the vessel's owner and captain, he told GBN he is thankful that his life and that of his crew member was saved. Fred says both himself and his crew member was able to get onto a dinghy and wait for help. He says he is ever grateful to all who reached out to him. The vessel took with it some of his cherished memories.
Say, first off, I'm overwhelmed, and I mean that, overwhelmed with the loving and caring of the community of Grenada. I'm blown away. I get calls from people I don't know offering me anything they can do, and I am so grateful. Whether or not they can do, it's just, it fills your heart with so much goodness. It takes away the pain of what just happened. There's a lot of memories to that boat. I had family down on it. My son-in-law sent me pictures of, the grandkids and whatnot on the boat, and a lot of good memories. Well, like I said, I have absolutely nothing. No clothes, one pair of shoes. I just went around at the last minute because they were in the cockpit. And I thought, I'm going to put these on. And thank God I did.
ASP Edwards had this safety tip for vessel owners.
Doing a regular check of your boat, your engine, seeing your surrounding observation. So any little thing that you see, you should investigate into that. Also, in things like that, you need to have extinguishers. You need to have things that can be on your boat to suppress the fire.
That was Chrislina John reporting. Anyone who can assist Fred can make drop-offs at Mary's Bakery, located at the entrance to Port Louis on the Kirani James Boulevard. Moving on, the New National Party held its convention over the weekend, moving into full gear toward the next general elections, which are constitutionally due next year. The event was hosted semi-virtually from the Trade Center in Grand Anse, with 5 viewing sites around the country where party delegates assembled to elect a new executive. Here's Gerard Joseph, who followed the all-day event and filed this report.
As the election tension spins into high gear, re-elected political leader of the New National Party and Prime Minister of Grenada, Dr. Kit Mitchell, says leadership is no easy task, whether in opposition or government. Using the distinguished Prime Minister of Barbados as an example, Dr. Mitchell, while addressing the NNP convention, cited Prime Minister Mia Mottley's toil and struggle in politics.
Mia, you were never a paratrooper. Never a paratrooper. You know what happens to paratroopers? Sometimes when you go to paratroop in the place and you ain't check the ground, next thing you fall straight in enemy hand, dead man. So, who thinking of paratrooping in Grenada? Tell them come. NNP have the ground wet.
Seemingly setting the tone for the campaign towards the next general elections, the leader of the NNP impresses that no paratrooping will be allowed.
And they want to paratroop in St. David's, St. David's is a place where liberation and struggle start and end. Well, the soldiers are there waiting. Pick him up, so I'll go with him.
He notes the message to get ready for the next general elections has been sent, and the party will not be taking their achievements for granted.
We ain't win nothing yet. We are in this thing, sisters and brothers, for the development of the future of this country. And therefore we ain't giving any person any seat. If you want a seat, go and win the seat. We're not in no charity business, sisters and brothers. I'm a very charitable man. But when it comes to the people of Grenada, Karakut and Piti Matnik, I am not giving them away for anything at all.
Political leader of the National Democratic Congress, Deacon Mitchell, gave his view on what he believed was leadership several weeks ago. Prime Minister Mitchell has now cited several commonalities among the Caribbean leaders, which he emphasized are important traits to have.
It was not just their age, sisters and brothers, but a track record of struggle, of leading and inspiring people. The true test of their leadership was their ability to inspire the generation and the next generation.
The NMP's political leader says they will be introducing a number of young people at the political and technical levels to complement the experienced membership as the transition continues. Oliver Joseph takes over as chairman, with Clarice Modest Cohen as deputy, as the other top executive positions remain mostly unchanged. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Meanwhile, they were introduced as women of power who have roots grounded in Grenada as they made a return to the land of their heritage. The occasion was a convention of the ruling New National Party on Sunday, and a dynamic female duo appeared as special guest speakers during the semi-virtual event. Here's Gerard Joseph once again.
Rooted and tied to the Grenadian heritage were the two guest speakers during the New National Party's convention on Sunday. Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley, noting Grenada's rich history and her Grenadian connection, says she is filled with pride that the regional integration process began on Grandans Beach. However, likening the period of her Grenadian ancestor, Prime Minister Mottley says the region is again facing threats to the beauty of the CARICOM agenda.
That there was an acute appreciation that we will always be stronger together, and that what is required of us was greater functional cooperation across a number of key areas, particularly where it matters to people's pockets and ability to live and choose for their families.
The Barbadian Prime Minister reiterates that in her reflections, the aspirations of forging unity while doing more and better for the people via regional integration are being attacked by individualistic goals.
Today, we have countries asserting on their own that they can do what they want, when they want, how they want, if they want, without reference to the multilateral framework that is intended to bring peace and order to the people of this world. Today, we continue to fight a pandemic. Like the Spanish flu, 2 years in. Most of us still with masks and very conscious that even though things appear to be improving as they have been, we are not out of the woods because of the vaccine inequity.
The Caribbean leader impresses that the climate crisis is another major factor the region is facing. Meanwhile, daughter of the soil, Akima Paul Lambert, who is a UK-based attorney, says the citizens have a supreme responsibility to do the best for the country.
Friends, Grenadians, all, we are the caretakers and custodians of the House of Grenada.
Mrs. Lambert is also Grenada's non-resident ambassador to the Holy See and highlighted on the steps needed to build the House of Grenada. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Meanwhile, on the heels of its convention, two members of the New National Party will be guests on tonight's Beyond the Headlines with host Odette Campbell. General Secretary Roland Bowler and Public Relations Officer Emmeline Pear are expected to be the guests. Beyond the Headlines begins right after tonight's newscast at 8 p.m. Moving on, it was a weekend of mass and revelry as Kayak Mass 2022 went off without a hitch on the Sister Isle. And even with just about 1 week notice, there were crowds of people on the streets of the capital. Let's get more in this report from Christelina John.
Even though there was no official competition this year, a scaled-down version of events for Kayak Mass was held, dubbed King of Kings. Monday morning was Juve on the Sister Isle, and as shown by pictures and videos posted on social media, the streets of Hillsborough were jam-packed. Keisha Gay, Chief Executive Officer of the Carriacou and P.T. Martinique Festival Board, spoke with the GBN. She says it's all about maintaining Carriacou's rich culture, regardless of COVID-19.
On Saturday the 26th, we had organized what we call a virtual explosion of carnival, and it turned out well because we get to showcase our culture not only locally but regionally and internationally. Since we had went virtual, we had showed different aspects of our culture, a little Shakespeare, a little old mass, a little display of the costume, and end it with a artist show. Today, this morning, we had our Juve, and it also turned out to be well, and tonight we're going to have our Monday night mass. Also, during the day, we would have a little maple dancing as well.
The usually large crowd was present this year, she says.
To me, the spectators, the crowd is quite massive, whether from our own people, whether from the mainland, and whether from abroad. Plenty of people coming out and support. I guess they are excited.
Gay added that the support from visitors to the Sister Isles augurs well for the economy.
Now that we get the opportunity to showcase carnival-like activities, and I think some business people will be smiling because it's been a long while. It will help them to get back on their feet a bit, generate some revenue. It will boost the economy.
She highlighted what will be happening before the season ends.
So the Shakespeare is on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, God's will, and it's our normal tradition, from the village coming into town. So, for example, Montreal into town or Brunswick into town.
Lena John, GBN News.
This is GBN Primetime Edition of News. Coming up, Grenada's GDP estimated to have expanded by 5.6% in 2021. We'll tell you more after the break.
The next chapter in West Indies' biggest rivalry continues. West Indies flies against England for the Apex Test Series in 3 test matches. Tickets start as low as $20 and local residents enjoy an additional 50% discount with online purchase. Must be fully vaccinated to attend all matches, and COVID-19 protocols will be in effect. Secure your seats to the action. Get your tickets in advance at windiescricket.com/tickets. Terms and conditions apply.
Say hello to Grenada's hidden gem, Mandela Court, a Grenadian-owned luxury boutique hotel tucked away in Lansipine. Our fully equipped suites are now complemented by an international standard restaurant and conference room. So whether you're having a formal business event, quaint garden wedding, or just a relaxed dinner for 2, you can count on Mandela Court for that luxurious experience. Call today to book your viewing or reservation. We look forward to welcoming you.
Physical violence, threats, controlling behavior, and being disrespectful are no-nos in any relationship. Parenting together after a breakup can be difficult, but always speak and behave in ways you would want your children to speak and act. You cannot control what your ex-partner does, but you can control how you choose to respond to your ex and what behaviors you display to your children. Parents, display behaviors you will want your children to learn. A respectful child begins with you. Step up your parenting game. My family matters.
about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Drop by any one of our 8 locations today. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Get the kind of value you love that's unmatched at Courts Now. We're unmatched in quality and prices. Get appliances, electronics, furniture, and much more. You will love it. Get it now and pay nothing for 30 days with Ready Finance. Plus, shop now and get a chance to win a luxury staycation for 2. Now that's unmatched value. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply. Offer ends February 28, 2022.
The Nawasa app brings the power of Nawasa's customer service experience to you. Instant, conversational, and smart. Easy access anywhere. Get bill balance, transaction history for up to 6 months, report a fault, link to websites, view payment centers, contact information, push notifications, and multi-tenant accounts, all in a secure login platform. Like a self-service concierge app, mobile.nawasa.gd gets you the support you need much faster. Available on both Android and iOS platforms. Mobile.nawasa.gd, your customer support companion. Nawasa, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Ridgeway Residences, a modern, exclusive residential community offered by Ariza. Purchase one of our completely built houses or let us build for you by simply choosing your lot, choosing your home design from our selection, and let us do the rest. Owning a home does not have to be a frustrating process. For more information, contact Ariza Credit Union on 415-0994 or send us an email on info@ridgewayresidences.gd. Ridgeway Residences, hassle-free home ownership.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
My grandson feel he was a big man before he reached secondary school. Telling me about new gadgets to make life easy. But he busting up the food his granny cook with her 2 hands. And Kern's a good boy. I know. I raised him. I know he doesn't like seeing me work too hard. He worries. Before I had my first heart attack, he was excited to live near his university campus. So I felt guilty when he decided to live at home to take care of me. And getting to class and back, he would travel, he said. But I got him a little car anyway, much safer. He graduated, recently got married, and he's doing well for himself with all his tech. He still thinks he knows more than me, but to be honest, I don't know how I would have managed without him.
Your life is your story. Let's help you write it on your terms.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back to the news. A group of former employees of Spice Island Beach Resort, with the support of their union, Technical and Allied Workers Union, held a protest in front of the hotel on Saturday as they continue to speak out about the resort's refusal to make their severance payments. Let's get more in this report from Rena Pear-Thomas.
A
A battle that started 2 years ago still rages on as former employees of the Spice Island Beach Resort once again publicly called on their former management to pay severance owed to them. The former workers braced inclement weather on Saturday and staged a protest in front of the resort, tooting horns and waving placards. The issue started in 2020 after workers at the 6-star Diamond Resort accepted the hotel's offer of retrenchment during the first year of the COVID-19 pandemic. President General of the Technical and Allied Workers Union, Andrew Lewis, says management refused to pay the workers unless all workers accepted the deal. After months of trying to reach an amicable solution, Lewis says workers have no choice but to protest for what is rightfully theirs.
What is important is the fact that the hotel has identified the monies to pay the workers, and we were prepared to compromise within the context of the monies that are available. And we still stand by that, and therefore there is no need for this matter to have been escalated. As it stands, a number of workers went back, right? So which would make it much easier for the hotel to pay off the remaining workers who are off. But the hotel ought not to get away with insisting that in order for it to pay out even 1 cent, all the workers must accept the retrenchment package.
Lewis explains that the last discussion held with Spice Island Beach Resort was in April 2021. He said if a solution is not found soon, they will be forced to take steps that will affect the entire hotel industry.
And therefore, there is no need for this matter to have been escalated. And there is no need for this matter to be escalated further, as it shall, if the matter is not resolved. And it can have serious implications, as we have said, for the wider hotel and tourism industry. This is not our intention. We are not driven by this. Because let me remind you, we said in the beginning, and we maintain and we know, that the International Union of Foods, that's an international organization to which we are affiliated, that has international reach, has been contacted, and are ready and prepared to do whatever it is that is necessary to assist us. But whatever they do will not just be limited to spices.
In a phone conversation on Monday afternoon, General Manager at Spice Island Beach Resort, Brian Hardy, says that as far as they are aware, no employee has been severed, and as such, no severance pay is owed. The TAU President General says that they will continue to fight for workers' rights and will not be bullied by anyone for what rightfully belongs to them. For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
Grenada's GDP is expected to grow in 2022 as reports from the IMF highlight an economical uptick in the country's economy. As we hear in this Rena Thomas report, that information was divulged by the International Monetary Fund during a recent visit to Grenada.
IMF Mission Chief to Grenada, Hudian Lee, says Grenada's GDP is estimated to have expanded by 5.6% in 2021 as stayover tourist arrivals picked up strongly in the last month of last year, while construction and agriculture rebounded faster. This comes as a 5-member team from IMF conducted its annual economic surveillance mission in Grenada from February 15th to the 25th. The team met with major stakeholders to get a sense of Grenada's economic performance in 2020 and 2021, in which a report on the team findings was made. Officials from the International Monetary Fund says Grenada's economy is bouncing back after experiencing the hard hit of the COVID-19 pandemic. Grenada's real GDP is projected to expand in 2022.
The economy now is recovering. Real GDP is estimated to have expanded by 5.6% last year. Construction and agriculture rebounded faster than tourism. The fiscal balance, excluding interest payments, is estimated to have maintained a surplus of around 2% of GDP, and the public debt level declined to 70% of GDP in 2021. For this year, real GDP is projected to continue growing by 4.3%.
Continued fiscal support, she said, will assist in strengthening the economy.
Continuing to provide fiscal support this year will help strengthen the recovery and at the same time lessen the burden of the pandemic on vulnerable households. The authorities have rightly triggered the escape clause for the fiscal rule for the third year. This is needed. This allows the budget to provide essential support to economic activity.
Finance Minister Gregory Boeing hopes the country's economic recovery is sustained.
And it has been a really good period compared, because remember, we're not back to 2019, but for 2020-21, December has been a good month. So too was January, because we were seeing some of the tax revenues collected even in January, a hard month, again, being better than what it has been. Not as January, but 20 and 21.
A more prolonged pandemic with implications for tourism, higher food and oil prices, and the prolonged supply chain disruption could lead to further increases in inflation, including through second-rung effects on Grenada. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
Is there a future for the Imani program under an administration led by the National Democratic Congress? The question was posed to the party's hierarchy, who notes that hundreds of young people are solely dependent on the government-run program for their livelihoods.
When the NDC is elected, will the Imanis be terminated from their jobs? And what are your plans for the Imani?
This was the question posed to political leader of the National Democratic Congress, Deacon Mitchell, during a recent town hall meeting, and this was his response.
No, your jobs will not be terminated. 2, your jobs will become permanent jobs. 3, we will not place you on 6 months and 12-month contracts so that we can exploit you. 4, if you're a permanent worker in Grenada, $800 and $700 cannot be the rate at which you are paid.
Under a NDC-led administration, Mitchell says the exploitation of Imani trainees will be no more, as young people will not be used as cheap labor. The political leader notes that individuals on the Imani program are being denied the benefits of a permanent job while providing labor at various establishments.
The government has become a labor supplying agency that is exploiting our young people, particularly our women, who are adults and who have children and who you know cannot sustain themselves on $800, much less themselves and their children. So the contract will end. You are workers. It's not an apprenticeship program. An apprenticeship program is where you learn a skill and then you move on and get a permanent job with benefits, with permanency, with the ability to get a loan, to get financing, to buy land.
He says Imani workers have been branded as trainees because their salaries are reportedly below the minimum wage.
But by telling you you're an apprentice and you're in this Imani program, they're effectively trying to take you out of the workforce so that they don't have to comply with the law. So that you don't have to get paid holiday leave. So you don't have to get sick leave benefits. So that you can't bargain for health insurance or for, well, if you're on contract, you ain't getting pension. So you have no job security. And so you are perpetually in a state of poverty. And your children are going to be born and remain in a state of poverty.
I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
And now let's turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Rena Pear-Thomas has been looking around the platforms.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz Report.
Last Friday, GBN aired the story of how students of the St. Dominic RC School in St. David were unable to attend school that day after being traumatized by a mentally ill man who tried to enter a classroom armed with a cutlass on Thursday. You, our online audience, took to the comment section to air your views. Diane Thomas said, "It's a very traumatic experience for anyone to go through, much less young children. As a people, we are very reactive. We have the doubting Thomas mentality. See before we believe. Where is the foresight? Also, we have too many mentally challenged people roaming the place unchecked. Everyone knows them, but we're waiting for them to become violent before we act. Finally, why are schools in the 21st century functioning without appropriate security? Every little rum shop has security now. Why not our children? Sarah Thomas wrote, all schools should have proper security. Fence all schools proper, and some of those people that place on the streets 3 and 4 together just gazing, placing them in schools to look out for young ones. No one should just walk through the school just so, always waiting for things to happen. Matonia Monroe commented, I think the main problem here is the need to take mental illness much more serious. Of course, this will require a much wider scope of resources and institutional capabilities to attend to this issue. I guess health continues to be a frontline issue. Lisa Mueller said, very sad for children to face that, but how many mental persons are walking around every single day? A few cases just happened and it ended very tragic. And finally, Shireen James commented, personally, I see fencing schools more of a risk than safety, especially if the gate is locked. Imagine in a case of emergency, the students have to rush outside and trample to exit at one gate. Maybe I'm seeing things differently because I live foreign and no school is fenced. That's a wrap for tonight's Buzz. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
And still ahead, PAHO countries encouraged to deploy new pharmaceuticals to fight COVID-19. That story next.
There was a place in Grenada that was close to Grand Dance Beach, within walking distance of restaurants and attractions, and you didn't have to pay hundreds of dollars to stay there. Guess what? There it is. Look us up.
What does it take to be an amazing woman? Lots of me time. Amazing women are classy, fancy, and a little sassy. It's the drink for me. Cheers! Sometimes you've got to show them who's boss. Alpha male? Nah, alpha females are more amazing. Cheers to securing the bag. We make time for ourselves, for work, friends, and we certainly make time for passion. We're simply amazing. Amazing cream liqueur for the amazing woman in you.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform. Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
license. A whole new level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
Looking for a professional team offering around-the-clock, private and confidential nursing, medical care, and aid services? Then look no further. Nurses Care Grenada is a fully certified, insured, and licensed healthcare facility committed to the reduction and eventual elimination of healthcare disparities affecting the nation. Our registered nurses will visit you at your home, assess your condition, and provide the required treatment under the directive of a doctor. So why worry when there's Nurses Care Grenada? Give us a call, 406-3928. Nurses Care, reliable, trusted professionals we can all depend on.
This is GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium. This segment is brought to you by Flow.
Welcome back. PAHO member countries are being encouraged to prepare to deploy new pharmaceuticals being developed to combat the coronavirus. The new drugs are in late-stage development and are expected to help treat COVID-19, avoid hospitalizations, and prevent deaths, especially among populations facing mass vaccination hesitancy. Dr. Sylvain Aldeguero of PAHO said the organization is assessing new therapeutics in conjunction with the WHO.
Some products can be considered generic products and may be of importance in ambulatory care for vulnerable groups. I'm thinking about the antivirals, some antivirals. So in this context, really, we use manufacturers to make available the know-how required for the production of some products, including antivirals, to all countries that need them in this time of pandemic.
And now let's take a peek through the GBN eyesore lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN eyesore is brought to you by ClearVision.
Life is beautiful if only you can see it. ClearVision Eye Center helps you do just that. We provide expert service, classy eyewear, and cutting-edge technology, all with a quality customer experience. See better, feel better, and look better. Meet us today at clearvisiongrenada.com or call 444-0055, WhatsApp 409-0055, or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. ClearVision Eye Center. Let's see life and the world with a clear vision.
Tonight's eyesore features Mr. Saraka. His photo and video submissions come from La Poterie Saraka, held on Friday, as community members came together to prepare the feast. The Saraka celebration features local foods, dances, and drumming, all stemming from and connected to Grenada's African roots. Patrons look forward to the annual event on the weekend before Caraca's Carnival. Send us your photo and eyesore submissions on WhatsApp at 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Always a good time at Saraka. Now stay with us. Coming up next, the weather, followed by sports and our probe around the globe.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for for your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Just a reminder, the global pandemic is not over. Office Pros and markers are still here to protect you. Available are several versions of touchless hand sanitizer and hand soap dispensers, dispenser stands, paper towel and toilet paper dispensers, and thermometers. Also available, hand sanitizing gel, sanitizing solution, hand soap, Lysol products, face masks, and gloves offered at the best price in the market and backed by a full warranty and protection plan with free installation. We are located on the Woodlands Main Road. Call Office Pros on 444-2393 or Markers on 439-2393. You can also visit the Facebook page for more information. And never forget to remember, I, Mr. Markers, would never forsake you. Believe that.
Your vehicle insurance should never break your bank. With Beacon, you can get up to 35% off your fully comprehensive car insurance and still get full protection from unexpected damages with free loss of use, windscreen cover, and special perils. When it comes to your insurance, always be sure you settle for more. Call us at 440-4447 or log on to beacon.co.tt and get a quote today.
If there was ever a time to keep and stay healthy, it's now. We at Hills and Valley are here to help you take deliberate steps to maintain your health. We stayed true to maintaining the most comprehensive rates while stocking the widest range of medicines and health devices, including personal protective equipment. There are so many benefits shopping with us. You get great savings through discounts for senior citizens and reward cards for loyal customers. Ask about owning yours today. Visit us at Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George, Jubilee Street opposite the Grenville Bus Terminal, and at Hillsborough, Carriacou. Our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street also stocks the widest range of pharmaceuticals. We are with you on the hills and in the valleys. We are Hills and Valley Pharmacy.
She was my life, caring for me, loving me from a baby. COVID came and she never left the house. She felt safe there. Just turned 80. She kept saying, son, go take the vaccine so you could come and see me. I miss you. I never did. Because I'm young and I'm strong, and people on Facebook say the vaccine don't really protect you. I went to see her because I thought I was fine. They had no symptoms. She was so happy to see me. I had COVID and I did not even know. Being vaccinated would have helped. I just know it. I just know it. I'm so sorry, Granny. I'm so sorry.
This message is brought to you by the Grenada COVID Crisis Group and the Grenadians United in Virginia.
Let's start the new year on a high, a detox high, because it's detox time again at Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Check out our many detox packages starting from $100 or get 15% off on colonic irrigation therapy. Detoxing can help with liver and blood cleansing, weight loss, constipation, acid reflux, kidney stones, heavy metal removal, gas and bloating, and more. Call or WhatsApp us on 231-6642, 418-7115, or 449-7753. Ask about our delivery options. Visit us now. Bruce Street Mall, store number 1208, or Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area. Our opening hours are Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Nirvana Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Detox your way to health. These specials ends on March 31st or while stocks last.
Here is
a little known fact. There is only one place in Grenada that you can get an MRI scan done. That place is Spice Isle Imaging Center. Yes, Grenada, that's the truth. Other centers could offer you other scans, but Spice Isle Imaging provides an authentic MRI scan. Here's another little known fact. Spice Isle Imaging has 3 centers. We operate at Grenville, the Carnage, and at the Ocean House, Grandlands. We provide the widest range of laboratory tests and services. CT scans, x-rays, mammograms, ultrasounds, and a host of other services. We are fully staffed by a team of family doctors and specialists. Call us today at 444-7679 or 406-1500 or visit any of our 3 locations. Spice Isle Imaging, from seeing the doctor to getting lab tests, scans, and pharmacy services. We are here to take care of you.
Sporting fans, let's shoot off with a netball. The Peter David Magadao Netball Tournament shoots off this Friday at the River Road Hard Court. 12 teams are competing this year in 2 divisions. The junior teams are Babs Simpson Netball Academy, Combined Stars, Pink Panthers, and Rose Girls. Competing in the senior division are Jet Stars, Northerners, Dazzles, Rainbow Girls, Monkrush Hot Peppers, Net Stars, Yellow Devils, and All-Rounders. Monkrush and Northerners are returning to the tournament after a break. The tournament starts on Friday at 4:30 p.m. West Indies woman captain Stephanie Taylor believes her team just has to play to their potential in order to do well in the Women's Cricket World Cup. The West Indies last made the finals in 2013. Taylor says the key for the team coming into this World Cup is to show consistency.
It's more trying to be consistent as best as we can in 50 over format. We know that it's not always the best for us, and I think we're making strides. And for us, it's more about improving every time, and getting better at that. So not to look too far ahead, but try to take each game, step by step.
While they want to get off to a positive start against New Zealand, the West Indies captain does not believe there are easy teams in the tournament.
I think all the teams are going to be tough. Some of the teams we haven't played in a while, haven't seen them. We're not underestimating any team. And I think all the teams are going to be tough. So, yeah, we just have to go out there and play hard cricket.
The ICC Women's Cricket ODI World Cup 2022 begins on Friday in New Zealand. The World Cup will see a total of 8 teams battle it out over the duration of 29 days. Russia has been expelled from the 2022 World Cup and its teams suspended from all international football competitions until further notice after its invasion of Ukraine. FIFA announced in a joint statement with UEFA on Monday. The men's team had been due to play in qualifying playoffs in March for the World Cup in Qatar later this year. While the announcement also affects Russian clubs involved in European competitions. Russia was due to play Poland in a World Cup qualifying playoff of semi-final on March 24th and could have gone on to face Sweden or the Czech Republic on March 29th for a place at the finals. But their 3 potential opponents insisted they would boycott the matches. Russia's women's side had qualified for the European Championship in England to be held held in July. Manchester City and Everton players took to the field wearing Ukrainian flags before their Premier League game on Saturday, while there were anti-war messages at stadiums elsewhere following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Both teams had Ukraine internationals on their bench.
Zinchenko, we saw in tears as the whole stadium at Goodison threw their support behind him and his Ukraine teammate Vitaly Mykolenko. The City team wore no war t-shirts with the Ukraine flag across the middle there, and the Everton team, each of them draped in the Ukrainian flag, as was Mykolenko there on the bench. And in the stands, the fans showed their support as well. So to the warm-up and a hug between Zinchenko and Mykolenko. The Goodison crowd clapped and cheered in support. Both Everton and City said they were doing everything to support their players as the crisis unfolds in their homeland. Manchester United and Watford players joined together before their game at Old Trafford, with United manager Ralph Rangnick holding up that sign that said peace in 6 different languages.
That's a look at sports. Regional and international news are next. Tonight, we begin with dire news out of Trinidad and Tobago. 4 of a team of 5 underwater worlders in Trinidad have presumed dead after being sucked into the oil pipeline on which they had been using scuba to carry out repairs. The incident occurred at around 3 p.m. on Friday, and according to local press, relatives of the missing men have accused the oil company and emergency services of dragging their feet over the subsequent rescue operation. The scuba divers were at a depth of 80 meters installing a riser. They had almost completed the task when a safety valve that had enabled them to work on the pipe is believed to have opened suddenly, causing a powerful vacuum effect that had sucked all 5 of them inside. One of the men was rescued. Energy Minister Stuart Young has admitted gaps in the way Paria Fuel Trading Company Limited handled the missing divers, and which saw the situation evolve from a search and rescue mission to body recovery.
I give the assurance that this investigation will take place and we will get the appropriate independent, professional experts to lend their expertise to the finding of what went on and any gaps that may have occurred. In the meantime, please join me as we continue to pray for the recovery of these 4 divers.
President of the OWTU's Pointe-a-Pierre branch, Christopher Jackman, is concerned there won't be as deep an investigation as needed into the divers' accident.
The responses provided by the Energy Minister, most of it so far is consistent with the information that we have. There's still a lot of concerns, a lot of questions that need to be answered though. This requires diligent and thorough investigation.
So are you then concerned that this
investigation is not going to be, unbiased and
yes,
fair?
I am concerned. I am very concerned. At the end of the day, though, ultimately the families are the ones who need to be satisfied with respect to the candidates that are chosen. And I believe, just as was done in the lead up to this, the families will not be consulted. They will have no say. They will not have their opinions asked. And at the end of the day, the government will choose the persons who will be putting this investigation forward.
Moving internationally, Russian and Ukrainian officials met on the Belarusian border to discuss a ceasefire while invading Russian forces encountered determined resistance from Ukrainian troops and civilians on the 5th day of conflict. Let's get more in this report.
Talks between Russian and Ukrainian officials began on the Belarusian border on Monday, as Russia's diplomatic and economic isolation deepens 4 days after invading Ukraine. The Ukrainian president's office said the talks' aim was an immediate ceasefire and the withdrawal of Russian forces. Moscow was cagier, with the Kremlin declining to comment on its aims. Russia calls its actions in Ukraine a special operation. The talks are being held on the border with strong Russian ally Belarus, which has become a launchpad for the troops invading Ukraine. The Russian advance has gone more slowly than some expected. Blasts were heard before dawn on Monday in the capital of Kiev and in the major eastern city of Kharkiv, Ukrainian authorities said. But Russian ground forces' attempts to capture major urban centres had been repelled, they added. Russian forces seized 2 small cities in southeastern Ukraine and the area around a nuclear power plant, Moscow's Interfax news agency said. But they ran into stiff resistance elsewhere. Russian President Vladimir Putin put Russia's nuclear deterrent on high alert on Sunday. The Western-led response to the invasion has been sweeping. Sanctions have effectively cut off Moscow's major financial institutions from Western markets, sending Russia's ruble down 30% against the dollar on Monday. Countries also stepped up weapons supplies to Ukraine. Putin called the West an empire of lies on Monday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky asked for fast-track EU membership. The European Union is preparing to grant Ukrainians who flee the war the right to stay and work in the 27-nation bloc for up to 3 years, senior EU and French officials said. According to the UN Refugee Agency, more than 500,000 people have fled from Ukraine to neighbouring countries. It was not clear whether any progress could be achieved in the talks. At least 102 civilians in Ukraine have been killed since Thursday, but UN Human Rights Chief Michelle Bachelet said on Monday the real figure is feared to be considerably higher.
And while most of the world's attention is on the Russia-Ukraine conflict, tens of thousands of people were ordered to evacuate as heavy rains smashed Australia's east coast on Monday, submerging towns and stranding residents on rooftops, with authorities warning of a life-threatening flash floods.
9 people have been killed since the downpour began last Thursday, and rescue teams were searching on Monday for at least 4 people reported missing. Prime Minister Scott Morrison said defence personnel would be deployed to flood-hit areas to lead both rescue and recovery operations.
Everything is being done that can be done to support people right across southeast Queensland and indeed in the even more crisis situations that we are now seeing in northern New South Wales. The flood event there they're used to floods just like in Queensland in northern New South Wales, but the floods we're seeing in Lismore, they have not seen. They have not seen them before, and people who are in areas that have never been touched by floods have been overnight, and that is a crisis situation.
The rising waters caught people by surprise in the New South Wales city of Lismore, as its near 30,000 residents were forced to leave their homes immediately.
You've lived here all your life? Yeah. We've lived in this house here for almost 30 years. Never seen anything like this. No, never.
I'm waiting for my parents and my mum, my brother, my dad and 2 dogs to come out from South Lismore.
The Bureau of Meteorology warned the city's Wilson's River could reach over 47 feet on Monday afternoon, surpassing the last peak back in 1954. Several regions in Australia have already seen rainfall records for February broken, with some places getting more than a month's or more than a year's rain in one day.
That's your regional and international news. I'm Zia Frederick. Let's return to Blossom for a recap of tonight's headlines.
And now let's look back at what made news tonight. Foreign national says burning yacht could have been saved, but the Coast Guard was ill-equipped to handle the blaze. Re-elected political leader of the NNP says the party will not be taking their achievements for granted as election fever heats up. Successful staging of kayak mass as crowds of people fill the streets of Hillsborough. Former workers of Spice Island Beach Resort hold protest as they continue to press for severance pay. In regional news, hope shattered for families as missing divers in Trinidad are declared dead. And internationally, Russia and Ukraine hold ceasefire talks. In sports, the Peter David Margaret Down Netball Tournament shoots off this Friday. That's the end of the GBN Nightly News for Monday, February 28th, 2022. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. On behalf of the entire GBN News team, I am Blossom Alexis Welsh. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.
Join GBN on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. for Interesting Grenadians, a program